I'd like to talk to you about communication and what it means to communicate effectively. What does effective communication mean to you? Are you an effective communicator? And have you ever thought about this before? There are a few keys to effective communication. Firstly, the person sending the message must understand their audience. For example, if providing instructions to a staff member, you should understand the level of knowledge, skills, and experience. Is this task new to them, or is it something they do all the time? The more you know about the person receiving your message, the better you're able to formulate that message so the person is better placed to receive and understand it. As Stephen Covey, the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, states that we should first seek to understand, then to be understood. Secondly, the person sending the message must check that the receiver understands its meaning. Have you ever provided explanation to a staff member, believed they understood the message, only to find out later their understanding was not what you intended? It is the responsibility of the sender to check that the receiver understands the message in the way it is intended. To do this, it is important that you ask questions and listen to the responses to check that the message has been understood and the relevant action can then be taken. And thirdly, feedback is the important element of the communication process that enables the sender to determine whether the receiver correctly interpreted the message. This occurs when the receiver responds to the communication with a return message and demonstrates their understanding and interpretation of it. Without this feedback, the communication cycle is incomplete. In order to check other people's understanding of our message, you need effective questioning and listening skills. Without these two important elements, you can never be sure your message has really been understood. Asking the right kind of questions benefits both parties. Questions encourage people to think and empower them to find answers and make decisions and build positive attitudes. As a leader, asking questions also shows that you care about people as individuals, value their opinions, and are open to new ideas. When we communicate with others and ask questions, another important element is listening. The way you listen plays a very important part of the way you communicate. To really listen, you need to focus on the other person and give them all of your attention without interruption, without thinking about something else or what your response to what they are saying may be. A good listener also listens actively, keeps an open mind, and works hard at it. Our communication message is made up of 3 different modes. This is important for us to understand in order to communicate effectively. The 3 modes are verbal, the words and the language we use; tone of voice, the way we say those words, the meaning we convey through your tone of voice and sound of our voice; and body language, the meaning we convey through our body language, such as eye contact, smiling, and posture. You may be surprised to hear that of the 3 modes of communication, words make up only 7% of our total message. Only 7% of our message is due to the actual words we use. The other 93% is non-verbal communication, our tone of voice and our body language. Our tone of voice makes up 38% of our communication message. The way we say things plays an important part in the way the message is received. Have you ever experienced someone telling you they are okay when they clearly sound upset or angry? Their words say one thing and their tone of voice says another. Which one do you believe? And lastly, our body language makes up for the largest percentage of our message at 55%. We may use the best words to give instructions, to give our opinion, but if our body language doesn't convey the same message intended as our words, if our body language, for example, demonstrates a lack of confidence, then our entire message will not sound confident. If we have a negative tone of voice, together with the best and most positive intentioned words, the receiver of our message will hear the negative rather than the positive words. This means that our words, our tone of voice, and our body language need to match each other to be congruent for our message to be understood in the way intended. Otherwise, it is likely our message will be misunderstood or lost. Is your communication congruent? Do your words match your tone of voice and body language when you deliver your message? Is the purpose of your message understood? I encourage you to think about your own communication style and become aware of how you communicate with others. Are your communication messages understood by your staff? Do you know your audience and encourage feedback with effective questioning and listening skills? By becoming more aware of the way you communicate and how your message comes across to others, you will readily begin to see where you can improve to ensure that all of your communication is effective and achieves your desired results. I would also like to encourage you to journal about what you have learned from this information, what you have learned about yourself, and what you notice about your own preferred styles of sending and receiving communication. This will put you in even better stead to implement actions that will benefit yourself, your staff, and residents, and others in your life as well.